Good morning, everybody. Apparently, I forgot to connect my camera. So it wouldn't let me start the broadcast. And I started to freak out because I didn't know why it wouldn't let me start the broadcast. If you just read the fine print where it says, when you connect your camera, you'll be able to start your broadcast. Too funny. Good morning, Joanne. Happy New Year to you. And it's good to see you this morning. And I'm sure there are other people out there I just haven't checked in with yet, but I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. It was certainly a busy one around my household, around my family. You guys might remember on Friday, I ended up having to broadcast this in the morning through my telephone because my computer was down, and my computer went down for probably for the update that I did the night before. And it took me 2 hours after I got off the show with you guys in the morning to get my computer fixed. And by then I was running an hour behind with everything else I was doing that day. So it was kind of crazy. And then Saturday was the big move. My daughter had and her boyfriend, they bought a new home. And on Friday, they were surprising the kids with the house. The kids did not know they were moving into a new home. And so it was a very emotional time. I sat there just bawling as I'm watching my other daughter videoing my 4 grandchildren from my youngest daughter who was moving into the house, as these kids realized that this house that they so loved, but that they thought had sold to someone else was actually going to be their house. It was so amazing. And then Saturday we moved them in, and it was a crazy day, freezing cold. It was supposed to rain and it didn't, thankfully. So we got them all moved in. And then on Sunday, I had agreed to babysit baby Wyatt, who now looks like this, right? This is my baby Wyatt, who's now 9 months old and just as cute as can be. This was a cup they had made for me for Christmas. And Sunday then was spent shopping and getting ready for Christmas Eve, because we all do our celebrations on Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve, I was surprised by 2 things. I swear Uranus must have been playing big in my chart, because for one thing, my nephew has been in Kuwait for, since last March. And he was supposedly home. He is home. He was home in Texas and was trying to make it home for the holidays and couldn't. They said he lost his paperwork, but apparently that was not true. And his parents knew he was home, but didn't tell us. And my sister-in-law did a really good job of crying and just telling us, oh, she was so sad that her son wasn't going to be home for Christmas. And we were like, it's okay, he'll be home in January. And then a little while later, there's a knock at the door and all this commotion. And we're like, what the heck? And in walks our nephew. And he runs straight for me and for Terry. And I'm like, oh my God, you passed your mother. You passed your mother. And then he's like, but she already knows I'm home. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys really got us. You got us big time. And then just a couple hours later, my oldest son, announces his engagement to his girlfriend. So it has been one big weekend for me in my family, as engagements and home from Kuwait and presents and new homes and just amazingness. It was a very, very Merry Christmas for us. And I didn't want it to end, but I'm, of course, always glad to see it end, because it's so crazy getting ready for the holidays. And yesterday, I did nothing except hang out, do some work, behind the scenes, things I could do, just charts and things like that. So I hope all of you had a great weekend yourselves and a Merry Christmas. And let's get into what is going on for this week. We have a very quiet week, actually, astrologically speaking, which is, a good thing. Because, who wants to go into a crazy astrological week the days after a crazy holiday weekend and craziness of all of the holidays? So here we go. This morning, the moon is in Leo. It is only in Leo now for about another hour and a half, as the moon this morning at 7:37 my time moved into void of course, where it will stay until 9:50 a.m. So by 12:50 p.m. your time on the East Coast, the moon will have moved out of Leo and into Virgo. And we begin the week then, the work week, for us anyway, here in the US, with the moon in Virgo, getting back to cleaning up, getting the details taken care of, organizing, being practical, right? Some really good earth energies that are in sync with the sun, now in Capricorn, also an earth sign, which is also favoring our getting down to business, right? Getting things back in order. And I know yesterday it felt really good to put away the wrapping paper and to clear out the boxes and put stuff away. I still haven't found my scissors nor my tape. Not sure what I did with that, but I'm sure I'll find it somewhere tomorrow when I begin, or maybe even later today when I begin the process of cleaning up from Christmas. Today, the moon is trining. This morning, the moon is trining the 120-degree angle where things move smoothly between itself, the moon, and Uranus. So there could be some more surprises. I don't know. Oh, I know my husband got a surprise when he got to work and he found out he was actually supposed to be off today. He had taken the day off because he had another floating holiday he had to take before the end of the year. He totally forgot, went into work, and my daughter called me and said, "Why is Dad at work? He has the day off." And I went, "I didn't even know he had the day off." So anyway, surprise. Those kind of surprises are not unpleasant. And he's actually just going to take Friday off, which is a whole better day anyway. So today, moon trining Uranus. Later in the day, the moon will trine the sun. And that means it'll have moved in the moon will have moved into Virgo and it'll be trining the sun sitting in Capricorn. And then we begin some, this is where the real work energy begins. Like we can finally just sort of see like, hey, the holidays are almost over. And how do I get myself back in alignment with work or with what my goals are? And maybe cleaning up the house, not necessarily taking down the decorations or anything like that, but certainly, getting things back in order. Let's see who's checking in with us this morning. Good morning, Kathy. You had a really good Christmas. That's awesome. Loved watching the new house and little granddaughter's reaction. Oh my God, they cried. Amelia she is my heart. Her and I share the same degree of rising sign, which means that her chart and my chart line up exactly like our houses and everything. Now she's obviously much younger, has different planets, but her emotion and my emotion are almost always running in tandem. And she started crying, and that's all it took. I mean, I was just boo-hooing watching these kids get into their new home. It was really kind of cool. Good morning, Skyly. It's good to see you this morning too. Colleen, good morning. Mary. Debbie, good morning. She had a great holiday also. We were all thankful for being alive. Suzanne, good morning to you. How amazing. Thank you. It was amazing. It was just an amazing weekend. Good morning, Diana. And let's see, Michelle Brooks, good morning. Mimi, good morning. Good morning, Vanita. It's good to see everybody out there this morning. Patricia, good morning to you as well. So I have something special I want to teach you guys today. And some of you may have heard about this before, and maybe some of you haven't. This may be the first time you've ever heard of this, but I'm hoping you guys will play along with me in this. And all it requires is some kind of, what is this called? Journal, notebook. I have my peacock journal over here that I love because it's so beautiful. And I'm going to show it to you because I just love my peacock, right? And it's filled with all of my different things from 2018. And I'm going to use it for the end of 2018 for this thing that I want to share with you. This is, how many of you have heard the song, The 12 Days of Christmas? I'm sure every one of you has. And the 12 Days of Christmas actually begins the day after Christmas, today, December 26th, and runs through January 6th. So that is what the window of time that we call the 12 days of Christmas. Well, in ancient times, so back in the age of the Druids and the Celts and the old Scots, Gaelic peoples, they were in the pagan traditions, right? So this is where this began. In the pagan traditions, they would use these 12 days of Christmas as omen days. And they have other words. They call them augury days. There's other Gaelic words that I didn't understand, but augury meaning, seeing into the future. And so these are days that for years I've actually done this, where I have appropriated each day to a month in the year, and you observe everything that's going on around you, what's going on in the outer world, what you're feeling or sensing within, your dreams, your emotions, observations of nature, and especially observations of nature, because that's where it all began, right? The Druids were very much nature loving people, and they lived, close to the land, and so they would watch for signs from the birds or from the forests, what were the animals doing. So we also have that opportunity to watch for the animals, to look for all the different things that are guides or indicators of what's to come. So today, being December 26th, would equate to January of 2019. So keep a list today of things that you feel, things that you see or sense, or weird things, anything that you see animals doing. I actually pulled us an animal card this morning for the first day of Christmas, and it was an interesting one. I thought it's one that we've had already, which I thought was really bizarre, but it's okay. So we have this opportunity then for these 12 days. So tomorrow, the card you would pull or the things that you would be writing about would be for February of 2019, and all the way along until you get to January 6th, which would be the last day, and that would equate to December of 2019. So you have to be open, and you sort of have to be aware and conscious about what's going on around you, what's going on within you, all of the different things that are happening in the world, and you're just keeping sort of a running tally about that. And then later you can go back and you can see, maybe you divide the page in half or something, and afterwards you go back and these were my observations of what actually happened in January based on what I discovered going on December 26th. So here's the card that I pulled for us to get us started for December 26th or for January 2019. And it was Fox Spirit. Think on your feet. Card number 27. For those of you who like the numbers, that's number 9. I love this card. Isn't that a beautiful fox? Have you ever seen a fox in real life? I mean, like out in the wild? My son lives on San Juan Island over in Friday Harbor, and they have an entire state park over there that was being overrun with rabbits. So their solution was to bring in foxes, and the foxes help keep the rabbit population down. But the foxes at sunset, if you go out, that's when they hunt. And it's just wonderful, not to watch them hunt necessarily, but it's wonderful to see these animals so up close living, in nature. So Fox Spirit, let's read what this card says. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared and you are meant to move swiftly. Now remember, this is for January, not for today. This is a card that's going to be we can, kind of equate to the energy of January of 2019. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you to think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move, aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. Now, I'm going to read the protection message as well, because when I drew the card, it came out like this, lying sideways. So I'm looking at that going, well, does that mean you're right side up or does that mean you're upside down? So I'm going to read both just in case, right? So we can be prepared for the protection message. Are you camouflaging yourself to avoid intimacy? Perhaps you are being too clever for your own good and playing games to protect yourself. Being dishonest with yourself or others can become isolating and create obstacles to true connection. Fox Spirit calls you to be attuned to what is happening within you and around you so that your quick thinking and creativity can lead you to better relationships and situations. You are called to use your Fox Spirit beneficially rather than in ways that keep you from experiencing what you want. Or perhaps right now you are realizing that a situation is trickier than it appears on the surface, and you are afraid to make a move in case it turns out to be a mistake. Fox Spirit is here to remind you that when you are in alignment with the Great Spirit, The answers and solutions can come quickly, and you can trust them. Don't overthink a situation in order to avoid the challenge of facing a difficult truth. Fox Spirit's creative nature will always be there to guide you and help you move quickly into better circumstances. So there you have it. Fox Spirit. That gets us started with our 12 days of Christmas. Fox. And of course, you can draw other cards for your own self. If you have decks at home and you want to draw a card for yourself to, personally guide you through January, then please do. But on the other hand, you also want to be just so very aware of everything that is happening around you. And Colleen says she sees red fox all the time. Suzanne has posted angel number 9, which is a number of endings. It says eternity. Wait a minute. It's the number of universal love, eternity, faith, universal spiritual laws, etc., etc. So she's got that there. Kathy looks like my little dog. It does, actually. Michelle, yes, I've seen foxes. They're wonderful. Kathy says she had a wonderful Christmas, especially watching my little grandsons love my family. Patricia says she got a dragonfly for Christmas. That's awesome. So here we have this is just a wonderful exercise. I've done it for many years. And, to varying degrees of success, I would say. I mean, some months are just spot on. And others, maybe I lost connection somewhere along the way, or I was just, at the end of the day, I went, oh my God, okay, I forgot to be, writing stuff down. So you can do this throughout the 12 days of Christmas and see how that plays out for you. And if you have any questions, you can certainly write them out here for me. There's really no real rhyme or reason. You can do whatever it is that you want, whatever is meaningful to you. Noting anything that you're feeling and anything that you notice in the world. So easy deal. So today is also the first day of the new week in human design and the gene keys. So today the sun, remember last week I told you usually on Christmas Day, the sun is moved into gate 58, the gate of joy. And it didn't. It moved in there today. So today the sun sits at bliss, vitality. It's an exciting gate, right? It's a gate. Here, let me show you the human design chart for the day. Here's the chart for today. This is actually where we're still connected through the 3 and the 60. And now we're also connected from the 9 to the 52, connecting the root center to the sacral center, giving us extra energy. And if you note, look at there's 5 of the 9 gates. Is that 3, 6, 9 gates of the root center that are defined. So we're really, I guess you could say we're really back to the foundation energies. And the root center being the foundational energies, right? It's the one that anchors us to the planet, to the earth. And gate 58 is right here, right? It's the very first gate that starts leading over here to the spleen. And it is the gate of joy. So what we find out is that joy is not an emotion. Otherwise, it would be over here on the solar plexus, which is the center for emotional energy. We have another gate there, but defined there right now. We'll talk about in a minute. But if joy were just meant to be an emotion, it would be over here, but it's not. It is a foundational energy. It means that the very foundation of our connection here on the planet is to express joy and vitality and life and exuberance and all of the words that we can think of that make us feel good, and everything that we pursue from here on in our lives, from the moment that we are born, should be about joy and the discovery of more joy. And that forms then the foundation of who we are as human beings. Well, when the sun is at gate 58, the earth is sitting at gate 52. Gate 52 in its lowest expression is the gate of stress. And you know how the holidays are, right? They can be very stressful for some people, trying to get, shopping done and get it where they need to be, or, memories or of, Christmases past, or the memories of people who've passed on during the year. And so Christmas can sometimes be filled with stress. And the earth sitting at the gate 52 reminds us that in the stillness, we can still find joy, because the highest expression of gate 52, this gate right here, also a foundation energy sitting on the root center, is that it is not our natural energy to be stressed, right? Stress is not our natural energy. It's the shadow energy or the fear energy of the gate 52, right? Gate 52 right here in the shadow is stress. Just like the shadow of gate 58 is a vague sense of dissatisfaction with life, right? Not feeling like you're in the flow of love and joy and all of those energies. Feeling outside of that energy is the shadow. But the truth is that you're always connected to the energy of joy. Joy becomes a choice because it's a foundation energy. Hope that makes sense to everybody. So here we go. Now we're going to look at the outer planets, not the outer planets, they're still inner planets, but Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mercury today sitting at gate 5. Mercury is doing something really interesting today, actually. And I've never really used this when I do readings or when I talk to people about their charts, but sometimes planets can be in parallel or contra parallel, as it were. So parallel would mean that they are at the same declination. So if you think about how, here's the Earth and all these planets are out there around us, they can be in the same declination above the Earth's equator or below the Earth's equator, right? They would be called in parallel then. If they're contraparallel, one would be above and one would be below, but they're still sitting at maybe the same degrees. So it's an interesting kind of concept. And we read that when they're parallel as sort of a conjunction, even though literally when I looked at the chart, Mercury and Pluto are not in a conjunction, but today they are in parallel. So it sort of sets us up today for good energy exchanges, right? To be able to be empowered, to speak from an empowered place, to speak from a place of joy or love that's more foundational. So it's interesting that those two are parallel today while we're having this kind of conversation about what it takes, what is our foundational energy. And so even though I don't usually use those in astrology, you may hear that periodically. And one of the things I found this morning as I'm looking at my program is that Mercury is parallel to Pluto. But Mercury is sitting at the gate 5. And remember last week or two ago, we had the sun sitting at gate 5, which is a gate of rhythm and timing and knowing, being inclined to be in natural timing. And us as human beings, we are often forcing ourselves into things to be at the right time, at the right place. And the more we force ourselves to do something, the more likely it is that we are out of time and out of the right place and missing opportunities because we've pushed ourselves in the wrong timing, or we've pushed the river, right? We're pushing instead of just accepting the way things are in the moment. So we have that reminder from Mercury is that it may not be the right time to speak of things. It may not be the right time to manifest something, but the right time may be coming. But you have to stay in sync with timing. And then tomorrow, Mercury will move out of the gate 5, leaving that gate for the gate of integrity, gate 26. So now everything that we do or say has to come from a space of being true to ourselves, but also being in integrity. It's a gate that begs for us to be transparent. And I think that, the whole world might be working on this particular gate in the charts right now because everything seems like there's all of, there's lies and there's all these untruths or these things that are just sort of, not clear for us right now. And so Mercury, hopefully over the next few days, will be able to help clear up some things as things become more transparent. Venus, remember, she had last week moved into new territory for the first time since September 2nd when she entered her retrograde zone. So everything that she's touching now is new. And where she was this past week was at gate 1, the gate of self-expression. I think we did talk about that last week because we were talking about it being the most yin or creative or receptive gate in human design. Sorry, nope, not yin, yang, as in it is the most expressive creative energy that Venus had been sitting at. So we were being tasked with creating along the lines of our values. So if you value art and beauty and music or whatever, then that's where your creative energy lies. If your values and your gifts and talents were more around business, then that's where your path lies. So it was reminding us about that, right? About how it is that we're each meant to express the truth of who we are, and to be creatively expressing that, irregardless of what the rest of the world or the outer world thinks it is that we need to express, right? So tomorrow, excuse me, Venus will move into gate 43. Now, gate 43 is up here on the Ajna, and it is called the gate of breakthrough. Gate 43 right here. And this is a gate that's really interesting because when you have this gate by birth, it is literally a gate of genius. And that genius wanting to get expressed from the ajna down into the throat center. Notice that's where it connects, right? The gate 43 connects to the gate 23. So this is also engaged in timing, because if we call this, kind of in a fun way, the freak to genius channel. And we call it that because this is a place where sometimes we are very much wanting to share information or share our insights, our breakthroughs, our epiphanies with people, but it's out of timing. And so instead of being viewed as the genius, you get viewed a little bit like you're a freak, right? You're out of timing. You're ahead of the trend, let's say. And so people kind of don't hear or recognize or value your contribution. But because this gate connects to the throat, it's all about waiting for that invitation to share your genius, to share your brilliance, right? So that in that moment, people take that information in and don't like block it. Because a lot of times this happens to people, right? They'll share an idea. Nobody even recognizes that you've said anything about anything. But 2 weeks later, someone else will say, "Hey, why don't we do it this way?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, great idea. You're a genius." And you had that same idea 2 weeks earlier, but no one noticed it, right? So timing. The timing here is waiting for the invitation to share your brilliance. So that is a gate that Venus will be teaching us all about as we move into tomorrow. Venus, Mars. Mars is the planet of action, right? He is a planet that is dynamic forward motion. And he's been stuck in a water sign for the last several weeks. He's been in Pisces and slow in his roll, and he's not very happy about it, right? He gets very steamy in Pisces energy because he's like moving. But, if anybody's ever tried to run in water, you know how that goes, right? It's very slow going. So Mars has been in water. On December 31st, so just next Monday, he will move out of water and into fire, into the sign he rules, and our action steps pick up, right? The forward momentum begins to really build for us. And where he is sitting is very tricky in human design. He is sitting on the emotional center, gate 36, this one right over here, gate 36. And there's no other energy here on the emotional center right now. There may be in your own personal charts, but right now there isn't any other emotional center. It's all pitted right here at gate 36, which is the gate of turbulence. And it is a gate where, in fact, the highest expression in this gate is about, oh God, I looked up that word. What was that? Compassion, humanity, and lowest expression, turbulence. It is a gate of crisis. It is restless energy. It is emotional energy that is just sitting there waiting to be expressed, but it isn't connected up to anything, right? So out of a sense of restlessness, and we've been restless, right? We've been trying to get things going. We've been looking for direction. We haven't been able to gain any traction, especially with Mars being in water. And so when we first get that burst of energy on the 31st or so, are we going to be tempted to strike out in a need to relieve ourselves from that restless energy, from that boredom, or to be able to just feel like we're doing something? So here would be sort of a warning to not do that, right? To not not necessarily be patient and hold the line much longer, but to watch what it is you're doing and your motivation for doing it, right? Is the mistaken motivation that you're restless and bored, and this happens to open up and you're like, yes, I can relieve that tension? Or are you um, planning something? Are you more deliberate and this is a pathway that you've been waiting for and it opens up? Do you see the difference here? Because this is kind of a tricky one, right? We're really we're chomping at the bit. Remember, we talked about how, race horses, they've got the bit in their mouth and they're at that gate and they're wanting to go. They're getting nervous or restless, excited about moving. And then the gate opens and they just run, right? Well, when that gate opens, you want to run, but you have to have something to run to, right? Something that you have been deliberately in co-creation with the universe about. And following the signs, if you're a generator or a manifesting generator. If you're a projector, you've been waiting for the invitation into something. If you're a reflector, you've been talking to the people around you to get some clarity about what your direction is. If you're a manifester, you've had these creative ideas, and now the path may be opening for you to express them, but you have to inform the people that will be affected by your decisions before you take action. Right? Otherwise, you might meet up with resistance, and then it becomes an angry kind of interaction with the people that are you perceive that are trying to hold you back, or creating that sort of restless or that resistance energy. So interesting things coming up, but following your type and your strategy this week gonna save your butts, right? Save your butts. Let's see what people are saying. Kathy's got to run. Bye, Kathy. Love you. Asa, namaste and happy holidays, everyone. Beautiful ones. I love the way she speaks. It's so beautiful. She's a manifester. Hope she doesn't mind me sharing that. Good morning, Suzanne. Stillness is my no wonder she said sorry language. Suzanne, I love you. Literally, Kathy has 6 family birthdays in January, and my dad's also. Yep, my dad's birthday was January. A lot of Aquarians in my family. It's kind of interesting. My dad also died in January, and his mother died in January, my grandmother. So it's kind of January's an interesting month. Suzanne, fox animal symbolism takes a turn of intelligence in the Celtic realm, as the Celts believed the fox to be a guide and was honored for its wisdom. The Celts understood the fox knows the woods intimately, and they would rely upon the fox as their guide in the spirit world. Love it. I love it, love it. And I believe the Native Americans thought of fox as a trickster character. Or was that coyote? That was coyote. Ooh, we'll have to look that up. Somebody who might know more about the Native American symbolism of fox might want to share that with us later as well. All right, how's everybody doing? Do we have questions? Anybody need to share anything with us? Because we have time for that, a little bit of time. And if not, I'm done with the astrology of the week. You might have noticed I didn't actually write anything this week. Who has time to write when you have all these other things going on? Kind of crazy week, right? Or the end of the week. So this week, I don't see anything major going on. In fact, I checked ahead to see there is a Venus sextile Pluto on Friday. Not a big deal. And the biggest deal comes on the 31st, which I wouldn't have written until next week anyway. So I think we are in fairly good shape. I will not be with you all tomorrow. And tomorrow I have appointments all day. Tomorrow afternoon, my time anyway, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. East Coast time, I will be doing the webinar. I'll post the Zoom link here as soon as I'm done this morning. To help guide you through your report, your 12-month report. And I'm going to have a couple of sample reports and have yours with you if you can, or up on your screen, or maybe have printed a couple of pages. I know it's a big report. You don't need to print all of the pages, but maybe, print there's a page that says report highlights. And there's a page that says like maybe the first week of January or something like that, if you want to have that in front of you. If not, I'm going to share my screen so you'll be able to see it anyway. And we'll talk about what it is that you can glean from that report that is very helpful for you going into the year. It's totally free. I will post the link here. I'm guessing it'll be about an hour, and you'll be able to interact with me question wise, and be able to see, the report as well. Suzanne, you are so good at this. In Native American lore, fox animal symbolism deals with two interpretations. One perspective, the northern tribes, observes fox as a wise and noble messenger. The other, the plains tribes, view the fox as a trickster, playing pranks, or worse, luring one to their demise. Yowza! Yowza, yowza. I thought some of the Plains Indians, I didn't know it was the Plains Indians, but I knew some of them thought of fox as the trickster. And it does make sense, right, that the Plains tribes would do that, because wolves maybe were up in the northern areas, and wolf might have been, more of the teacher energy, where maybe, I don't know, who knows, but I thought that there was a couple of different meanings there. But I love the fox. I love, love, love the fox. And Asa, excuse me, not at all my cosmic sister. I'm guessing that's, you didn't mind me sharing that you were a manifester. Okay, I think that is all I have. So later tomorrow, I will be on with you all to share about your reports. That's free. Maybe let's just take a quick look at tomorrow's energy, since I won't be here in the morning. Oops, that's January. I don't want to go that far ahead yet. The 27th tomorrow. Oh yeah. What is it about Thursdays this month? This whole month of December, Thursdays have been the day that the moon was making the most connections to any of the planets. And tomorrow is not an exception to that rule. It is squaring Jupiter, trining Saturn, opposing Neptune, squaring Mercury, sextiling Venus, and also trining Pluto. So we have another day where the moon is making a lot of different connections. So tomorrow might be a bit moody. The moon will be in Virgo all day. So it might be a day to put your nose to the grindstone and get things done and focus on what's in front of you and not what is everybody else's business, right? Because there's too many things going on with the moon throughout the day to really, just don't get involved in anybody else's business tomorrow, right? Stick to your own business and use the energy of the moon in Virgo to get things done and to maybe, clean up or reorganize or open, get all the presents put away or all the stuff put away. Good morning, Linda. Sorry you're late. I'm just getting ready to sign off, but the recording is here, so you can always hear it again. Let's see. The thing that's probably the biggest tomorrow is the moon's square to Jupiter. It's interesting, the timing for that, because the moon square Jupiter is usually somewhat, an enticement to overdo things, to overindulge. So take it easy. Don't, luckily it's not falling on the holiday weekend where we really could overindulge, or, New Year's Eve where we're out partying and drinking. By the way, I found the best wine. It is from Pasek Cellars, Pasek, P-A-S-E-K. I don't know if you could get this across the country or not, because it's actually a Washington winery, and it's raspberry wine. And I swear it was like I was drinking raspberry jam. The raspberry was just exquisite. Raspberry wine from Pasek Cellars. Anyway, that was just a whole nother aside. So anyway, tomorrow doesn't look like it's going to be a horrible day, just moody. Stick to your own business, keep busy, and stay out of other people's business. I will see you tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific time for the webinar. And then, of course, I will be back on Friday morning to share with you what's coming up for the weekend. And yeah, that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, you know how to find me. How about a card for today? I can do a card for today. Remember, the fox it was for today, but it's actually for the first day of Christmas, which is about January of 2019. So I'm going to put fox back into the deck just because. And do we want to pull it from animals, or where in the heck are my other ones? Oh, they're over there. So we're going to pull it from the animals. So this is a card for today. And Suzanne says, that's my job. Good one, Suzanne. She's like the information lady, and she has it at her fingertips. I don't know. She must have files on her computer that she could just grab a hold of. I love it. If you guys haven't visited Suzanne's pages, she has, a couple of different pages for, gosh, Suzanne, type them in here because I can't remember the names of them right off the top of my head. So we have two cards that pulled out, and wouldn't you know it, they're both master numbers. The first one on top was Snake Spirit, Time to Heal, card number 55. And the second card was card number 33, Horse Spirit, Freedom is Yours. So this is a card for today. Aren't those beautiful? Even the snake is beautiful. So let's read about them. So because the first one that came out was actually Snake, I'm going to read Snake first, number 55. And 55. So give me a shout out here. Just say, yes, I'm going to do the oracle reading, or the, what did I call it? The Omen days, the 12 days of Christmas, or no, I'm not going to do it. Just let me know, because I want to know who's playing with me in this. And you don't have to feel bad if you don't have the time to do it either. It's not my purpose. I just want to know who wants to play. Oracle message says, for Snake, time to heal. All of us need healing at times, and when Snake Spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. Vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for vitality is rising in you. This might be a good time to honor the work you have done to heal, grow, and repair any damage within you, within those you care about, and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being, and open the door for healing to occur. That is a very Virgo message. Ergo, the moon in Virgo, and Snake giving us that message, number 55. And number 33, which is Horse Spirit, is next. And I can see Suzanne busily putting up the angel numbers for these double numbers. Horse Spirit, just a beautiful horse. Freedom is yours, number 33. When Horse Spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It is a time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom of choice. Horse Spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you far away to a better place, a better situation, a better state of being. For there is no one but you to rein in your will, to make a different decision. You are capable of making powerful choices that will affect you for a long time to come. Horses are social animals and known to be a friend to mankind, willing to carry us forward when we need it. Horse Spirit reminds you that help will be available to you whenever you need it, and companions will be by your side wherever you go, wherever you choose to go, whatever direction you choose to travel. Life is an adventure, and Horse Spirit wants you to know that whatever choices you make, you have great spirit within, invisible, yet holding you up and always walking by your side. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you can set your heart free to experience love in all forms. Spirit whispers to you that the gift of freedom is yours if you allow yourself to break out of your perfectionism and stubbornness, make a move, and enjoy the freedom of letting go of the need to control. I'd say those are pretty cool cards for the week or for the day, whichever they happen to be, but 33 and 55. So let's see, number 33 is made up of the vibrations of the number 3 appearing twice, amplifying and magnifying its influences. Awesome. Did you find one for 55? She did. Okay, so she's posted number 55, comprised of 2 5s, making double fives a powerful number. In human design, it is gate 55 that represents abundance, the abundance of spirit. There's also a gate 33, which is about sharing the being a story keeper, because it's a very private number, and people tend to download their stories to people that have gate 33, expecting you to hold those secrets dear, and they do for the most part. Angel number 55 is a message that it is time to let go of the old that is no longer positively serving you and get ready for big changes to take place in your life. Release old doubts, fears, and perceived obstacles and look forward to wonderful new opportunities. I think that's great. See other comments. People say, Coven of the Eclectic Sisterhood. That was it. And hashtag spread the love. Those are two of Suzanne's pages. And she also posts wonderful. You have another, yes, spread the love. That's the page that I really I enjoy, because she puts up really beautiful pictures and loving messages. And Coven of the Eclectic Sisterhood is awesome. She shares my information there, as well as other information about the season. Different oils and different rituals and things like that. It's pretty cool. And let's see, anything else going on? Suzanne's yes. Yes, she means she's going to do the Omen days. I'm doing the Omen days. I should have put a yes for me. And I'm going to start with the energy of Fox being one of the things I noticed. So, and it could be kind of funny. So, like, so far this morning, I noted that it was really dark outside, raining, kind of dreary. I noted that my husband blew it and took a vacation day that he forgot about and went to work. So there's something funny about that for January. So now I'm going to check and make sure he didn't take any time off in January that he's going to forget about. And the card, the Fox card, right? And any feelings. So, these are just quick notes that I'm going to jot down, and things that I've been aware of, or that have, popped into my consciousness. So then you guys can take that later and in your own lives, if you're doing this, and put it in the context of January and what might January bring. This is us looking, like having a crystal ball and being able to look into the future. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a great day. And remember, I will not be here in the morning, but I will be here in the afternoon with the webinar on how to use your 12-month astrology report. And that's free. I'll see you all then, and have a great rest of your day. Mwah! Much love to you. Bye now. Bye for now.